Okay guys, welcome back to another video, and as you can see, we've got the tier list. I've changed I guess the tiers this time, because last time it was kind of like hectic with like so many extra tiers and just a lot of things just messing it up. So now we just got upper meta, good units, meta supports, and just regular supports, and just units that are not worth going for. So yeah, you can see I even made like things, yeah, little things for them, like color coordinated, so the hybrid, the grounds, the heals, and I know it says buff, but there isn't a support text for it, so maybe I'll make a custom one in the future, but I just went for the buff one. So all the units that you see with buff are just support, I guess. So let's start off with upper meta. Let's start off with the units that are just not worth, That's the easiest way to do it. Goku, you can argue him being good, but don't think he's worth with all the other heals there are now. There's a lot more better heals than him. And then next we got Charting. She's not worth as well. Where is she? I am being very like blind right now. Yo, where is Charting? Boy, I'm pissing myself off right now. Okay, there. We got Charting there. Hiei as well. Ichigo as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ichigo's passive was still like messed up, so he just definitely not worth. Shouten, she's out of all the Sakamoto units, she's definitely the worst one, but she's still decent, but she does not fit into the good tier. You're not gonna really use her over other ground units, so she just kind of mid. And then we got the two tournament units. They're mid as well. They're not worth. I mean, they're worth just for the cosmetic, but they're not worth in terms of using. Okay, in terms of usability, they just have no use case. But yeah, Jiren actually has passives, and Senku just has no passive. He's just there for his cosmetic. Okay, next up we go to the regular supports. We got Gojo here. You need to upgrade him to get to his time stop, and his time stop is pretty good, and in terms of like just damage wise, pretty mid, costs a decent amount as well. So yeah, he's here. The next we got Rukia. I would put her up to meta support, but you see her freeze is a 1 second freeze, man. That's like basically nothing. And the SP is so high. It's like I think it's a 10-second cooldown between each freeze. She is a hybrid, so you can put her up above Gojo. Next up we got Sweet Witch. She can buff magic. She can make enemies take more damage from magic allies. So let me show you. I'm in game right now. So let me go to. So I don't have Sweet Witch. Oh, please say that added her. Let's see. Here we go. Where's Sweet Witch? As you can see, she has an ability which makes people take 7% magic debuff. But compared to Blackbeard, does it show? What's Blackbeard's name? Maybe Blackbeard's one. Greybeard, I don't show his path, but Greybeard can give it, I think, 10 or 15% buff, magic debuff, so Greybeard's actually better than her. So yeah, we put Blackbeard above her slightly. There we go. And that's just the regular supports. We got meta supports now. We got Rio. Where's Rio? Rio is one of the best supports, she can give a 30% damage buff and a 15% range buff. And if you place two Rios 10 seconds apart, making sure they have only that one unit in range, she's going to be providing that buff consistently, just at all times. So yeah, 30% damage buff with 15% range is quite nuts. Then next up we got I. I is very good as well. What's it, 18% damage plus cost reduction for all units as well. So it's not really just like for a single unit, that's why she's better. So I is just for all units as well. You got Giyu. He can slow airs, and he has like, I think his ability is 30 seconds cooldown plus a local cooldown, meaning you can just place 3 Giyus, use the ability every 10 seconds, and you just have his ability just proccing all times. So you basically got just slow to all units in range, just a lot, and he has high range as well, so it's very good. Next up we have Shanks. He has a 3-second stun with 10-second cooldown between each stun. Oh wait, not this Shanks. Where is he? But yeah, that's pretty good as well. I think it's one of the best CC supports because the longest lasting one. So that's why he's up in meta support. Then next we got Koichi. He's cost efficient, hybrid slow, similar to Giyu. But yeah, he has a large circle as well. 4 placements, very good. You can argue Rukia being up here, but 1 second is not that efficient. Next up we got good units. We got Boon top of good. Then we got Darky. Darky is in good. She would be in not worth, but her bleed adds a lot of value to her. She has a good amount of DPS as well. The bleed definitely adds a lot of value because she's the only person who can hit air regens, or actually inflate them with bleed, because Toji is the only other bleed unit, but he can't really hit flying. So yeah, that's why she has a lot of added value on that. Next up, where is it? Toji, you know, he would be meta, but he fell down a bit because a lot of better ground units just recently added in. So yeah, you can put him in top of ground. He's a very good ground unit. He's very good, you know. Bleed, cheap, you know, he has low SPA, he does a lot of damage. You know, he's very good. Definitely a Babu. Then next one we got Anking. He recently got his passives, he does a lot of stuff. You know, he has built-in crit. But the main issue with Anking is you have to run him on a team without Sanju and Igris because he nerfs himself. Then next up we've got Rimuru. He's from the last battle pass, the tier 50 unit. He's a hybrid unit. He's one of the other hybrids, you know, there's not that okay, you can see a lot here, but in terms of like easily accessible or not accessible anymore, he was easily accessible and now he's unattainable. But yeah, he's a pretty decent hybrid unit with a decent passive, so that's why he's here. The next up, we got the new battle pass units. You know, we got Edward and Alfonso. You know, Alfonso, you can argue him being a support because every 20 seconds, he applies a random debuff to enemies that he's targeting. He can either inflict slow, biohazard, bleed, burn, freeze, stun, all of them. You know, he can inflict any of them. So yeah, so he's definitely very good. You know, put him up here. And then we got Edward. He's just a pure DPS unit. He works off of Alfonso, meaning you need Alfonso in his range to get an extra damage buff. But his DPS is kind of nuts, you know. I think with Radiant and a decent curse, he can hit like 7k DP. No, wait, 7 to 9k DPS just purely by himself. So you can argue him being meta, but he's just, I'll put him at the top of the ground. Yeah, around here. And that's pretty much it for the ground selections. I mean, good selections, I guess. Then next up, we got meta, you know. These are the units who are like pretty good, yeah, but they don't like stand out above the rest. They stand out above these guys, but not above the rest. So first up, we got, you know, this might be quite interesting choice for me, but I'll have Ghetto here because I feel like leaving him up in upper meta, he's gonna overcrowd it. And right now, you know, with how the new maps are just like very long paths, he hasn't get much usage in the recent maps. You know, a lot of the new maps here I like have such long paths, meaning the summons take forever to reach, so that's why he's here. And this one, yeah, Nagamo, I want to put him in upper meta because you can use him as a support as well. You can also use him just as a pure DPS, but recently he's been getting like cooked over. Of course, like a lot of the units don't really synergize with him that well, so not really falling into upper meta. And also the fact that you can't really run him solo because you need to bring basically no farms to run him properly solo to get his max damage buff. So solo wise, you can't really use him, but you know, in a team case, you can definitely argue him being upper meta. Next up, we got Tanjiro. He's a 4 placement hybrid unit with a lot of burst DPS, so he's very good. Just a very good unit, better than all of these guys. He's a hybrid as well. You can fit him in meta. Next up, we got Law. You know, he's a very good unit. They recently changed the magic last update, or last mini update. They changed to magic typing. He has ability which makes him get a lot of DPS, and what's good about that is he synergizes with Nagamo because his ability does not count as a passive, so Nagamo can synergize with him and get a lot of buffs from him. So these two together are very good. Then next up we've got King or Arthur Lewin. The reason he's up here, he has 3 elements, and he's a magic type. So basically he's got magic. He got? Air, Rose, and Fire. You know. So for tournaments he's gonna be very good. He's a hybrid as well. He's pretty cheap and has good DPS. So yeah, that's why he's up here. Next up, one of the new units, Claw. What he can do is he can ignore shields. So meaning if an enemy has a shield, he's just gonna attack them through the shield and just do damage to them. Plus he does more damage to enemies after the first attack. He does 30% more damage to all enemies. And the reason why he's not really up here because he does nerf all your enemies or all your allies. He nerfs all allies by minus 10% damage. So that's kind of a negative of him, but he's still very good. We've got Eno up here because if you're using him in the new tournament, you can really see his true colors. He's a very good high DPS unit, hybrid unit. He's not too cheap, he's not too expensive, and he's a 4 placement, and he really synergizes well with all the supports. Using with the support, you can get him down to like 0.78 SPA. That's with his overdrive passive as well. So his DPS is going crazy as well. Very good unit. Next up for the heals, we got Hiso and Choi. They're 2 very good heal units. You can't really say much about them. They're just very good, you know. And we got Sakamoto at the bottom of meta. He's still a good unit, but he's definitely above these ground units as well. So yeah, Sakamoto's in basically at the low of just meta tier. Then next up we got the upper meta units. We start off with Rengoku and Akaza. They're still the best unit in the game. The Crusaders rarity, best unit in the game. You can't really say much. Then next up we've got Tengen. I think he's second best unit in the game. Yes, it's a negative that he's a ground unit, but his pure DPS is kind of nuts. Very nuts, in fact. Then we got Shadow. Although we're getting a lot of units to buff physical and I guess magic units, he's still falling in the upper meta. Very good unit. And he is a true damage unit, meaning, you know, in Infinity Castle and any stages that have resistances, he's gonna be needed, especially for daily challenges as well. Needed for those stuff as well, so he's very good. And he's a full AoE hybrid, you know, that just has enough on its own. Next up, we've got a new unit, Dimple. You can see how Crusaders him. If you haven't watched the video, go check it out. But pretty much, yeah, he has his first passive. Let me show you in game. Where is it? His first passive over here. Whenever an enemy enters Golden Spirit's range, they take damage equal to 50% of this unit's damage. So pretty much, if you use the real buff with him, you can get up to 300k damage, meaning enemies take 150k damage when they step into his range. And also the fact when they spend more time into his range, he's going to do more damage to them. So he's probably the best heal in the game. That's why he's an upper meta. And next up we got Mob, you know. I don't have him evolved, but pretty much what Mob can do is he has a lot of passives. Two very good passives, and his third one is ability based, where you fill up his meter to 100%. And once you fill it to 100%, you can either buff all allies in range by 20%, which is very good. That's the friendship part of his passive. Or you can either buff himself by 50% damage, or you can either make him hit flying enemies, which is why he has hybrid. He's a situational hybrid, but once you do that, you can use that, and then his meter fills up again, up to 200%. And once it fills up to 200%, you can use his ability again, and it lowers his cooldown by 50%, gives him extra damage. He's a very good unit, you know. It's funny enough, I think Mob is like a very good unit. I think he's, well, you got Dimple is above him, but I do think he's above Reagan, which is funny. Reagan is the secret. Next up, we got Sanjuru. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. He has summons that mimic his attacks and mimic most of his, like, I think, what's the exact stat wise? Let me check. Yeah, 25% of his own damage, and the elite one mimics his own damage by 100%, so he's very good on that part. So basically just 3 more extra units with him, and they take on his element as well, so if you use him in tournaments or any stage buffs with dark element, the summons are going to be doing that buff as well. And that's it for Sanjuru's here. And we got Broly, you know, Broly, he has a high, I'll put Broly above Sanjuru. Broly, he's just you know, situational, man. It's hard to say. For how rare he is, yeah, he's not as good as Sid, which is kind of crazy. But with the state the game is right now, I think eventually when they add more magic buffers, he'll definitely climb up the ranks. But he is a full AoE hybrid unit. And we can go to his passive. You can see his passive. This passive is what makes him like just not that good, you know. Yes, his range increases by 50% and he gets 200% damage plus every 10 attacks. And you can see his SPA. Well, I can't really show you, but let me go to the wiki and show you through the wiki. Look at his SPA. You can probably get this down to like 10 SPA or 9 SPA. So it takes about 1 minute and 30 seconds to hit that passive, which is very poor, you know. And Sid is, it's just a 22.5% chance, so it can happen anytime. So Sid can really do that like 4 or 5 times before Broly does one. That's how Sid's are very high instead of Broly. But yeah, Broly is still a good unit. He still falls into upper meta. The next up we got Reagan. He's a new unit. He has a mini nuke every 30 seconds, so pretty much he's just doing 10x his damage every 30 seconds. I think with Radiant, he has like 260k damage every 10 seconds, or 30 seconds. So yeah, that's still very good, you know. And he just does he does more damage to bosses as well. So yeah, pretty good unit. He has pretty simple passives, but he does a lot. Let me just show you his passive in game. Where is he? Ray Gun. You can see. And for each magic unit in his range, he gets extra 20% damage. And you can see his passive. His next attack does 1000% damage, which is 10x damage. The last but not least, you know, Igris. He's still in upper meta, but maybe next update he falls down to meta, top of meta. But the reason for this is just he does a lot of DPS. He's a hybrid, and he synergizes with Sanjuru. You can see just his passive alone. The only reason why it's hard to, you know, I want to put him down, but it's just this passive does not work. So you can't really have a raw acumen. What? My brain is not functioning, but you can't have a proper argument for why he's not upper meta, because this whole passive does not function at all, meaning he's not buffing allies by damage and like SPA, so pretty much he'll be a good support with that. That's why I have him in upper meta. He has supporting aspects with pure DPS as well. So that's the tier list for you guys. You know, these ones are, we're gonna ignore them. These ones are irrelevant, but yeah, that's the tier list for you guys. If you like the video, you know, like and subscribe, and yes, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Wait, let me know if you have any questions about this tier list. Alright, in a bit. Peace.